I'll be demonetized, but we made it to barbecue. We're home. We're at Wheelan's barbecue.
My mustache disappeared.
Oh, I just noticed that. It really is gone. That's wild.
Face is cold.
Welcome back. This is me from the future. Nationals is over, but you haven't seen that yet. You're about to see some stuff. But I'm back in the garage. The car is back. All in all, not bad signs, right? So we just got back from the 2022 SCCA Solo Nationals, where I competed along with Mike Moran, in the CP Camaro. This was Mikey's second time total driving the car. He did an excellent job. Generally pretty happy with how all the racing went. Let me get into a little bit of that. All right, despite everything, we made it, Mikey. Say hi. We made it. That trailer tire didn't. We almost died in our hotel. Oh. Oh, wait.
There is a light at the top of the shower enclosure. I'm going to turn it on.
Sick. Here, let me get the handle. Yep,
that would go there, but there's no nut there. Wow. Okay, the other light switch. Oh, that's the fan.
Oh,
and the light.
We did it. But we're now here at Lincoln, so now we got to do a bunch of shit. See you in a bit. So, racing-wise, things went okay. We learned some stuff, right? So first up, practice. Doing a really bad job at YouTube, Mikey, but practice session. Say hi to people, Mikey. Fantastic, great job. You can buy practice slots. They run them in an hour. You get 4 shots at the practice course. And it's a good way to kind of dial in your car for the Lincoln Concrete. We were on brand new fresh slicks from RS Racing. It's a beautiful concrete surface out there. The car just gains grip. If you've never been, it's a fantastic place to run your car. So we took the car out for our first set of practice runs, and we felt the car was a little bit twitchy. It was having issues with trying to rotate a little too much under trail braking, and it kind of just lacked confidence in the corners. So Sam Strano was there from Strano Parts. He was helping us get the suspension dialed in a little bit better, telling us what knobs to turn, because frankly, I'm not great at that. And we got the car better, but it wasn't 100%. So we opted to take another practice session, another 4 runs, about an hour later. But this time we disconnected the rear sway bar. And the car, as you would expect, tightened up. And the rule of thumb is if a car is a little bit tight on the practice course, it should be okay out on the regular race course. So we thought we did our job, and we went off and drank beer and had fun and got ready for the next day. Day 1 of competition, we were on the East course, also known as the plain side. The East course this year was huge. It was literally over a mile long. Times were in the 70 to 80 seconds for most folks running that day. So it was an oppressively long course. We went out and, quite frankly, the car sucked. The car was just pushy everywhere. It kind of seemed like you would get set for a corner and you would get on the throttle to try to rotate the car around and get it going, and it would just drive through the front tires. Frankly, I thought it was kind of miserable. Mikey is very nice. He didn't say too much about it, but it wasn't as fun as we hoped. I'm also going to add, I only have a few video clips here. I've been having issues all season with Solo Storm. I actually think the problem is not actually with Solo Storm. I think it might actually be the GoPro itself. So if anybody out there has any recommendations of cameras that they'd like to use with Solo Storm, put them down below for me, because I'm in the market for a new camera based on what happened. In the middle of our runs, we did opt to make a sway bar adjustment on the front of the car. We softened up the front bar to try to get to rotate, play with tire pressure. Everything helped a little bit, but it felt like we made big changes to the car and we were seeing small changes in the actual driving of the car. So we were definitely a little bit frustrated. So before day 2 competition, we decided to put the rear sway bar that we had disconnected during our practice runs back on the car, and really just hope for the best for the next day. If you've never been out to Lincoln before, you don't know this joy of cleaning OPR. It's awesome. So the next day was the West course. It's often referred to as the corn side. Typically the shorter of those courses, and it definitely was. It was shorter by probably 30 seconds. It was quite a contrast when you would be out on the plain side and be like, am I done yet? And you'd come around a corner and there was still more course, where that kind of created the opposite effect on the West course, where you'd finish up and be like, was that it? I will say though, the West course had one of the most fun finishes that I've done pretty much ever. The car was screaming through the finish. It was just a ton of fun. The sway bar change totally helped. Car came alive, and well, just take a look. So in the end, I wound up sitting in 14th place out of 29 cars, which is not a bad finish for me, especially with the low amount of seat time I have in this car and really the amount of development work there is still to go. Mikey was in 12th place, which was awesome. So we both moved up. I think we just had a lot more fun the second day, and we're starting to get things figured out. The car itself, we're going to make some changes over the winter because that's what we do. I'm not confident in where the suspension is on this car. I've made a bunch of spring changes, I've made a bunch of sway bar changes, and I feel like while I've been making guesses at it, I haven't been making educated guesses. So you can look forward to the next video where I'm going to dive into some of the suspension stuff. I'll talk a little bit more about what we're going to do and what's on the car, but that's for another time. Thunder out there. As I mentioned, the racing was great. Even with the trouble we had on day one, we figured it out for day two. We had fun. It's hard. It's hard not to have a good time at Nationals. I know there are plenty of people who didn't this time around and often don't, and I feel for them. I've been there last year. Frankly, kind of sucked, but this year was fun. It was nice to be back with that group. I will say the ride out and the ride back sucked. On the way out, it rained for the first part of our trip from Baltimore to Springfield, Illinois. We got on the road the next day, and about an hour and a half into the trip, we blew a tire on the trailer. It happens, but we only carry one spare. I'm getting Mikey in trouble here. It's my trailer, right? I only carry one spare on the trailer, so we had to make the rest of that 6-hour ride without a spare tire. We made it, but it was nerve-wracking. Managed to pick up another spare while in Lincoln. And then when we hit the road, we thought we would be good to go. Left Lincoln, got about an hour and a half down the road into Missouri, and we heard another noise from the back of the trailer, and sure enough, it was another blown tire. It was actually the spare that I had put on a few days before. Right before we put the spare tire back on, Mikey noticed that something was amiss with the trailer. All right, now that we're home safe and it's daylight, I can mention that the second flat we had on the way home was this tire right here. And what happened, let me see if I can get down and see it. See that shiny bolt right there holding the leaf spring? Well, that's not original. The original bolt came out, hit the tire, and made it explode. So Mikey is a goddamn hero, got it fixed temporarily on the side of the road, and then found a place with bolts and put it back together. And he's the reason we're home. And there he is. Hi, Mikey. But now we're down a spare again. So we limped it basically to, well, our intent was to make it to Springfield, but we kind of decided that it was late, we had lost time, and without a spare tire, we're kind of pushing and driving in the middle of nowhere. So we stopped in Hannibal, Missouri for the night, and then the next day, got on the road, stopped in Springfield, Illinois, got some breakfast, got another spare tire, and fortunately made it the rest of the way home with really no issues whatsoever. So we were lucky in that regard, but it just kind of put a damper on the whole trip. So lesson learned, I thought I had checked over the trailer well enough. I guess I had not. So next time I will definitely be going over that. So now what's left for the rest of the season? Well, the Camaro's probably done for the year. There are a few more events that are on the calendar, but I'm going to be traveling and some other stuff, so I'm not sure that I'm going to make it. Mikey may take the car out again for an event. We'll see how that works out. Boo, who you've seen in the intro and other places, the Exo set is going to be potentially making its way here to have a little sleepover while Mikey and Greg work on the STR car. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll start to see some more development with Boo. We'll get some other cars on this channel and we'll check it all out. Just want to take a moment. Thank you for watching this. I know autocross is a weird little hobby. It's fun that I have a cool car for it. Those of you who've watched along and came up to me at Nationals and said, hey, you know, I watched the videos and said kind things, I really appreciate it. You know, really this is something for my own edification. We all did build threads in the old days, and I guess now we make YouTube. So thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Share this video around, tell your friends, and tune in soon because we're going to tear this sucker apart again and make it faster. All right. Thanks, everybody. See ya. All right. We are back. The car is in the garage. Mikey is mustacheless. I am still tired. But long-ass drive. As hopefully I've filled in the video so far. Mikey was the hero with the tire changing on the trailer. Do you ever want to change a trailer tire again?
Give it another year or two.
Okay, very well. How'd it go though, Mikey? What'd you think?
It went fantastic. Took a little while to get the car dialed in, but day 2 the thing was rotating beautifully.
So the real question is, would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Shit, yeah. All right, that's it for Nationals Recap. Hopefully you've seen video, other things going on, but we're gonna get back to normal life. So we'll see you later. Oh, sorry, I waved in front of you, Mike. We'll see you later.
Only being beaten by his co-driver. Believe it or not, this is Robert Lewis's first national championship. Keeping the tradition of Frank Stagnaro, Turbo Todd Ferris, who were bridesmaids numerous times before the victory. Good job, Robert. Did you know it was a? Hey, Robert, did you know it was a victory lap when you took it? You didn't, because you were right behind Meyer, so you had to haul anyway. Good job. Robert Lewis, your national champion, and that takes care of us on the East Course, Group 1. Hayward. All right, trophy.
Light operation.
Yeah, he's sending a video to Kate.
This light better go out and not make a liar of me.
So we walked into the room and pushed the light switches and nothing happened. So it's dark in here. So